Hey, what's up? This is Brandon Simmons for BrandonSimmons.biz. This is my weekly video blog called Bullheaded, a review of the Houston Texans news, as well as a preview of the upcoming game matchups. So, this week, the Houston Texans are still going to be on the road, this time traveling to Chicago to take on the Bears, where they will actually try to put a number in the win column for this week. So, I'll get into all that on what they got to do for their game plan against Chicago this weekend. First, I want to give a quick week two review, just my thoughts on week two's loss to the Denver Broncos, unfortunately. Um, so yeah, first thing, big usage out of Pierce. I know last week, I think it was Pep Hamilton or whatever that said, or it was reported that, they were going to try and feed they were going to try to feed the ball to Damian Pierce a little bit more. That did happen. Pierce ended up finishing the game with 15 carries for 69 yards, and they got to him early on in the game just to establish him as part of the game plan, which I really did like. You know what I'm saying? Give him that confidence, give him that work, give him that boost early on so you can establish a rhythm early and throughout the game. So that was something that, was a quote unquote highlight for me in that game, in that aspect. Um, there was more usage out of Collins, out of Nico Collins, I feel. He had four catches for 58 yards. He was having a real good battle against cornerback Patrick Surtain before Surtain unfortunately left the game due to injury. So you know, um, that was just another promising sight to see. Just seeing that we got that other receiving option that can step up. Just considering I think Cooks had Cooks had an okay game, four catches for 54 yards as well. But just seeing those two in action, getting some work from Mills, um, those are highlights for me. You know what I'm saying? Just seeing like what weapons that we do actually have. That we've been actually kind of waiting on ever since the start of training camp. So just to see that kind of begin to come to fruition is a really bright sign. Um, Davis Mills. Uh, listen, man. I keep saying Davis Mills. He's bottom line is he has to play better, and I know it's just week two of the season, but he still has to really just step his game up a little bit. We marveled at what he could do uh, with OJ Howard, considering Howard was here for like a less than a week. Still, we need to see him do that, not just with Howard. We need to see him do that with Collins, with Cooks, more, whatever receiver that we have in our stable. We need to see him do that with all those guys. And right now, Damian Pierce, he's going to be the hot commodity. He's going to be the coach's darling or whatever. They're going to want to give him the ball. He's talented. He's proven that. But he's not ready to have the team go through him yet as a focal point of the offense. He's still, he probably still has to get his feet wet a little bit more. He has to, immerse himself more into the game action. And, eventually that time will come. But until now, we have to get something going with Mills. Mills has to really step up and really take on this role as the starting quarterback, as somebody that can win, not just the starting quarterback, but a starting quarterback that can win games in this league, because that's what it's really all about, winning games. So whether his role is, you know, big, a big part of the offense where, he's like his talent really depends, like our success really depends on his talent, or if it's just a contributory role, if that's even a real word. If it's that type of a role where he's contributing to the off- offensive success or just the team success, then he has to step into it. Because so far he hasn't. It doesn't feel like he's really stepped into either. And judging by this, I mean, just looking at this game, the couple of mistakes he made, which was the two fumbles. So he had a fumble in the second quarter, if I'm not mistaken, and he also had a fumble in the fourth quarter. So this is the second straight week that he's had a fumble, in the fourth quarter, in a crucial game that we needed him to just really step up and kind of help us win. But you can't do that making those mistakes at those times. So he just really has to step up, learn from his mistakes, keep it pushing or whatever, and just go out there and just win, just play better. Simply as that. And it's a long season, so he has time to do it. Nobody's going to come in and take his job away. I doubt they're going to put in Jeff Driscoll, even though they've had some success with the Driscoll option, if you will. But I do not think he's going to be coming in and just starting anytime soon, unless they're just seeing something different in practice. So that's my take on Mills at this moment. As far as it pertains to like week 2, he just has to play better going forward, and I think eventually he will get there. So with that being said, perfect segue into week 3, actually, about eventually getting there, because eventually the Texans are going to have to get to a win. And this is only we're only going into the 3rd week of the season, but you know, we're already kind of restless after the tie. Well, I'm gonna speak for myself. I'm kind of restless after the tie. I need to, if you can get that close to a win, I need you to go get another one the following week, and you didn't do that. So I want you to get one this week, obviously. So they're going to be going on the road, facing the Chicago Bears, and similarly, the chatter has been, Chicago's having their offensive struggles, the same as the Texans. So it's going to be a real interesting match to, the outsiders. Shoot, it's going to be really interesting to see what's going to happen, um, you know, from the perspective of the Houston Texans fans. So Texans, all they got to do is pretty much a couple things to get this win. So first things first, the offense has to really, really, really step it up. And so, yeah, the offense has been it hasn't been pretty, and let's just face it, it hasn't been great these past couple weeks. They put up 20 the first week, they have 6 this last week. It's just, excuse me, they had 9 this past week. Sorry, long day, long week. Anyway, but simple. The point is, um, they just haven't, been as spectacular as advertised these last few weeks. But they've had their bright spots, and so those bright spots, those positives, the Texans offense has to build on that this week. One thing for sure, the Bears are last in run defense. So, as early as we got Damian Pierce the ball last week, this week we need to get on the ball just as early. Feed them, right off the bat. First quarter, second quarter, all that. They probably may or may not be expecting us to do that early on, but just try to find creative ways to get on the ball. And by creative, I mean just try different formations to get on the ball. And it doesn't have to be the first snap of the game. Probably the next series or whatever. But get him the ball early as you can. Um, let's see. Yeah, like I said, this offense has to build on the positives, that they've had, last week. And when I talk about the positives from last week, despite the 9 points scored, I'm talking about, the aggression that they came out with. Um, just just coming out, just letting Mills kind of, throw the ball, to his receivers or whatever, spread the ball around. They didn't do that in the previous week early on, and that's I feel like that's what slowed things down. Had they been a little bit more aggressive in the first game, we might have, we wouldn't even be talking about a tie at that time. But they got a little bit more aggressive last week. The only thing is the Broncos defense is probably, just a tad bit better than the Colts defense at this point in time. So um, they were Broncos was probably, just really doing their thing. So the offense just has to build on the positives from last week and the previous week. There are some such as spreading the ball around, getting the ball early to Damian Pierce. That's just something that they can kind of enhance going into this week's game. Second and final thing the Texans got to do is take away the take away the Bears' run game. Um, Listen, the best part of the Bears' offense is their run game. It's as simple as that. Right now, I think the rushing offense is like eighth overall. Last week, David Montgomery had like 122 yards, and they still got blown out by the Packers. So um, take that run game away, and this, their offense isn't like I wouldn't I wouldn't compare it to Jonathan Taylor, where he had to. I wouldn't compare it to where you had to slow down Jonathan Taylor because like even if you tried to stop him, you really couldn't. I would say the Bears ring committee is kind of stoppable. They they obviously put up big numbers or whatever against Green Bay, but I feel like with the right defensive game plan, you can really stop you can stop their run game, and I think the Texans have the personnel to do this. They have a great front seven, Grugier Hill, and definitely anybody along that defensive line, Lopez, uh, Grenard, all those guys, Hughes. You know what I'm saying? Like eh, they can stop. They can actually stop these guys when it comes to running the ball. So I definitely look forward to seeing the Texans do that. And the benefit of stopping the Bears' run game, the Bears are dead last in passing offense. And I don't really like to go to the stats like this early in the game, but this early in the season. But I mean, you kind of had to kind of generate the point of where this team is at right now and how you can just really take advantage of it. If you take away you take away their running offense, their rushing attack, excuse me, make them rely on their passing offense, which is bad statistically. And so part of that, Bears quarterback Justin Fields, he's a young quarterback. This is his second year. He's kind of learning the offense and all this other stuff, and so he's really getting accustomed to stepping into his job as a starting quarterback. So um, definitely force them to rely on that pass game to see what he see what he's really about. And we have the secondary to meet his challenge. Derek Stingley has been impressive so far this season and in the preseason. He had in last week's game he had a strong goal line defense stand or whatever you call it. He on his own couple of plays, and so that kind of held the Broncos out of the end zone and made them kick a field goal, which slowed things down for them in their offense. So, um, definitely, I would say force the Bears to rely on the pass. So, wrap it up. Offense, the things Texans got to do to get a win. Offense, they have to step up, build on their positives from the past couple of weeks, implement those into this week's game plan. Take away the Bears' run game, and just force the Bears to rely on passing. The thing that they're statistically bad at. So that's Texans do those couple things. They'll be able to pull off a win on the road on this road trip. So that's all I got for y'all this week. I'm Brandon Simmons from BrandonSimmons.biz. Please like this video and subscribe. Hit that subscribe button, please. So I'm Brandon Simmons from BrandonSimmons.biz. Holla black.